was a leader throughout the year, and he never questioned anything that I had to say. He always did whatever was told of him. He asked me early in the year what it would take to play more, what would it take to have more impact on the court. And I told him it was on the defensive end. And next thing you know, he went from a third string guy to he was our sixth man, to the point where he had to start in a couple of games. And he provided, he did whatever was asked. He had big shots all season. Like, he has a knack for making the ugliest three-pointer you've ever seen somehow bank in. And I'm like, dude, you need to fix your jumper. But throughout the year, he would always challenge me to one-on-ones. He never won. One time he was beating me 7-1. There was 5 minutes left in practice, and he lost 10-7. But again, overall, I'm excited to see what he has in store for the varsity level next year. And this is Arthur Abdullahi. I felt for this guy. He was injured all year. He ended up being our assistant player coach. But he made it well known that his presence was there every single day of practice and of games. He would always be encouraging, cheering people on, holding teammates accountable from the sideline. But at the end of the day, he made sure that everyone was having fun. And he also made sure that everyone was working hard. Even though he was injured, he was still, probably his doctor didn't tell him to, but he was still practicing. He was still shooting around, working out. And honestly, he did anything I asked of him. But he was really the backbone of this team when things were down. And then, even though I think he did a great job, his teammates always labeled him as the worst statistician of all time. And he was one of our cheeseburger twins, as like the players like to say, and that's Matthew Bernardo. Alright, so the next guy, for him, he's never said this personally, but I like to say to him, he's a player that no shot is a bad shot. He always had, in his mind, it was funny, he always had the green light, even though guys were wide open. But, he's just one of those players that just had that innate ability just to put the ball in the basket. He was one of our 6 men off the bench this year. He initially struggled early on with some knee and ankle injuries, but when he came back, you could tell that the team ran differently. He's very crafty. He knows how to score. He got better as a playmaker this year. His role had to change a little bit last year from the freshman team. But overall, he was reliable. There were times where we had to throw him in as a starter, and he always delivered. He always asked questions of me, asking him different ways he can get better. And at the end of the day, in practice, he had a lot of fire in his heart, and always during the games, he was always doing whatever it took to try to help the team win. Our very own NBA young boy, Jacob Chung. So this next player, we had 4 captains this year, so this is one of our captains. This player, he and I developed a very little brother, big brother relationship this year. Anything I asked, he did. I said, run through that wall. He would say, do you want me to run through that wall too? And teammates looked up to him, and he was really just a leader on and off the court. Emotionally, it was a tough year on him. He battled injuries as well. And I felt like life threw a lot at this player. And every single time that I thought he might be down for the count, he stood right back up. It's inspiring really to see as a coach. And I couldn't have asked for a better person to help lead the team and to help be a role model for everyone, especially some of the younger guys on the team. He led us in scoring multiple times throughout the year, as well as those games he probably led us in turnovers. He was always like one of the best hustlers on the team. Probably led our team in charges this year, and did whatever was asked. He would always ask questions. He helped bring the team together for the Christmas party this year. So I know the boys are really appreciative of his presence throughout the season. And that's Brandon Mueller. So this next guy, he was our three-point marksman for the team. I felt like pretty much all of his points were probably exclusively behind the line, but he shot at a high percentage, so at the end of the day, if he missed, I had to live with it because he really is just a gifted shooter. He helped kickstart a lot of our runs throughout the year, and he himself actually helped us win a good amount of games by his shooting alone. At times this season, he had his struggles. There were times that he and I would have to have our talks, have to pull him to the side. But he always came back, always made sure that he improved himself. He improved his presence on the court and off the court, and made sure that he was being a great teammate along the way. One of my fondest memories of this particular player, when we played at Artesia, we had one of the worst shooting games of our life. But I put this one player in, and he's making everything. I'm like, oh man, we're actually going to win this game. We're up by 2 with 10 seconds left, and he's inbounding the ball, and he throws it right to Artesia. Turnover, and they had a wide open layup, and he missed it. So it's okay. We ended up winning the game, so I forgave him for that. But overall, it was a pleasure to coach him the past 2 years, and that's Ezra Elwood. So, when I first saw this player during a freshman practice earlier this year, I saw him catch the ball in the low block, make a dream shake, pivot, 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 pivot to a baseline fadeaway, and it was nothing but net. And I saw him and I said, crap, okay, we need him. He had an uphill battle that he had to climb as a freshman being called up to JV, not knowing a lot of the plays, not knowing a lot of the players. But he never backed down. He always made sure that he was being extremely coachable from the beginning. He improved tremendously throughout the year. There was a lot of times where we're running lines or we're running 17s, and who's last? This player. But again, he started getting better. Right? He started getting faster. He started getting stronger, and he even got to experience the varsity playoff run this year, which I know was a great experience for him. And he has lots of potential. I'm excited to see his future in the program. Funny note about him: we had during our winter tournament, we played Modern Day, and Modern Day had a 6'10" freshman, and he held his own. I was like, wow. Man, he's gonna be. He can hold his own against that kind of height. He's gonna be good. Then we had a Christmas party that night, and he sprained his ankle somehow at a Christmas party. I don't know how you do that, man. But nonetheless, it was a pleasure to coach this young man. The Rod Wave of Cerritos High School. No way I mean. So this next player, so if you heard me earlier talk about how Matthew was one of the cheeseburger twins, this is his twin. So if you're wondering why they're called cheeseburger, for some reason they have videos of each other eating cheeseburgers from school, and they would come up to me, Coach, look what Matthew was doing. Coach, look what he was doing today. I'm like, why do you guys have videos of each other eating? But he was a jokester. He was a very lighthearted guy. but he was the definition of a hard worker. He showed up, got better every single day, day in, day out. He was one of our better defenders of the team and hustle players. And he's really just a coach's dream, really. He did whatever you asked him to do. He was, like I said, he's a great player, but really he's even a better person. Throughout the season, he even reached out to me when times were down and made sure that he was there for me. And I appreciate that a lot. But he was very charismatic, always just had something to say, something funny, something sometimes not so funny. But one of my fondest memories is that during the Christmas party, we had a little 2K tournament, and he was talking so much trash that he was going to beat me before. How'd that go? The only Jordan Poole fan in the world, Sean Fontanilla. So the next player, he was one of our scorers off the bench. He was a great defender as well. And he was really just ready for any opportunity. Earlier this season when we played Fountain Valley, we were riddled with injuries at the forward position. And then I threw him in the game and gave him, he played very quality minutes. And he was like knocking down shots, being aggressive to the basket. And I was like, wow, man, this guy might show me something. He might have to get more playing time throughout the year. He pushed everyone in practice. He pushed them during games, made sure that everyone was feeling uplifted. Everyone was like challenging themselves mentally. And it was really a pleasure to coach him and his brother for the past 2 seasons. I got mad when he and his brother got the exact same haircut because I thought I was at the point where I could finally tell them apart. But then it got to the point where they looked exactly the same again. The world's greatest practice player, Jordan Wall. So now for his twin. He was one of our leaders on and off the court. He showed up every single day. He communicated very well with me, with his teammates. He became a likable figure in the team and got better every single day in practice. He started a handful of games for us, especially when Noah over here turns his ankle at a Christmas party. He started a good amount of games and showed that he's more than capable of being a starter or being a role player. Whatever the role was, he was successful at it. He always listened. He was very coachable like his brother, and he always held him and himself accountable. And I'm excited to see what he does at the varsity level, and that's Taylor Wong. So this next player, this season, he had to transition to a new position this season. It was a challenge, right, to try to see if he can try to make that change. But he did. He improved. He got better at his perimeter game. Like last year, he could not hit an outside jumper to save his life. And this year, he hit a couple buzzer beaters that made everyone go, "What the heck? Is that the same guy from last year?" He had big moments throughout the season, including a buzzer beater against Oxford that had the entire gym going crazy, running around. But he's been a pleasure to coach for the past 2 seasons. We would always, everyone would get to practice about 5-10 minutes early, and everyone's asking, "Hey, where is he? Where is he?" And then you hear the scooter coming in from the parking lot and say, "Oh, there he is." And this is a Cree Casey. So this next guy, he's really one of the hardest workers I've had the pleasure of coaching. And not even just as a great basketball player, he's even a better young man. He played in many different roles throughout this season. He supported off the bench. was one of the first guys off the bench and even had opportunities to start throughout the year. But that goes to show that he's ready for really any opportunity that was thrown his way. He hit big shots throughout the season, including he didn't play much in the Whitney game, but it got close, and I just threw it. I just rolled the dice and I put him in, and he was super productive and actually was one of the keys for us winning that game. Last season and during practice, he was one of the best shooters you've ever seen. But then when it came to games, he couldn't hit water if he fell off a boat. But nonetheless, he worked at it, he made sure he got better, and then second half of the season, I remember he looked at me, "Coach, I think that's the first three I made all year." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure that was too, man." But it's been a pleasure to coach him, and he was a great teammate overall, and that's Kai Kono. So this is another one of my returners from last year. When I first saw this guy as a freshman, my first thought to myself was, well, he's not very tall. But he showed up every single day, showed that he is like the ultimate definition of heart over height. He's one of the Steph Curry stands on our team. I remember on Halloween he dressed up as Steph Curry, but for some reason he wore a jersey that was the exact same height as him. But he was great energy on and off the court. The guys loved him. I loved him as a player. He always made sure to put a smile on my face. And he's always joking around, but he always pushed himself, right? No matter what, like if he got challenged during a game or during practice, he made sure to come right back at them. Like he has a fire within him, and I couldn't have been more proud to coach this young man, and that's Jaden Manuel. So before the season started, this player asked me what it would take for him to become a captain. And then before season started, we had a team vote. And although he wasn't voted captain, he didn't let that change who he wanted to be. He made sure that he led on and off the court, would bring guys together, would joke around with them, at the same time hold them accountable. And I couldn't have asked for more. He was probably our best defender on the team. He was originally slated to be our starting small forward, our starting three this year. But after Dalit got moved up to varsity, I had to move him and change positions for him. But he made sure that whatever was asked for him, he did it. And like I said, of him being a best defender, we played against two games that stand out in my mind was against La Habra and Whitney, and they both had varsity level players playing down on JV. And I literally looked at him and said, "You got him." And what did you do? He shut them down. And I couldn't have been more proud of the performance when I watched it on film. I'm like, man, he's a great defender. And he hit great big shots all season, including a game winner at Marina. And I'm proud to have coached this guy for the last 2 years, and that's Jace Mitchell. So this next guy, who was one of our other captains, he was one of the strongest players on the team, as well as being one of the shorter players on the team. But he had this innate ability in him to just will his team to win. Like it didn't matter who was on his team, he made sure that they were going to be able to at least compete. He carved out a role for himself as a captain and a team leader. And he was another player that always challenged me to one-on-one, and it never really went well for him. He was our team's DJ for the year. Like he was always playing music throughout the season. And a couple times this year, I would find this player texting me at midnight, asking me, "Coach, did you listen to the new Kanye West album?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to sleep. But coach, what'd you think? I'm like, it was okay, why? Then the next thing you know, he's sending me some of the worst rap bars I've ever read in my life. But he's a jokester. At the same time, he knows when to start taking things seriously. And I'm proud to have coached this guy for the last 2 years, and that's Trevor Lewis. So this was another player that had to change positions this year. We were pretty heavy-handed on the guard position, so I asked, do you think you're capable of playing the three? And he said, Coach, I'll do whatever it takes to be on this team. And I said, okay, let's see what you do. And then every single day, he just found ways to get better and better and help this team in the long run. Last year he never did it, but this year he actually took charges throughout the games and practices, and I looked at him like, dude, where was this all the last year? And he's like, Coach, I was scared last year. But this year he made sure that he was sacrificing for his team, and I'm sure a lot of his teammates can appreciate that, and me as a coach, I definitely appreciate that. Against Pioneer this year, we were a little injury riddled, so I put him in to start, and I think he had about 10 points in 4 minutes, and I was like, man, this guy really is like an energizer bunny off the bench. For some reason, all of his teammates say this player has the most riz on the team. I don't really know what that means. Jacob Aguilaga. So this next player, there were so many times this year during practice, I would be instructing on a drill, telling them where to go, trying to see like different scenarios of where to put them in. And then every one of them gets into position. But there's this one player that's just standing there staring in the middle of space, like, yo, wake up. Wait, coach, what are we doing? Like, oh my gosh, just get in line and ask your teammates, man. But he's another one of my guys that I coached last year. But he became a crucial part to our team, competed in every single game, and always had fun doing so. He led our team in scoring multiple occasions, and finally improved as a defender. Last year he was a fouling machine, but this year he actually started, playing decent defense, as well as making the go-ahead bucket against Whitney in the final minute. That final minute, I drew up a play for him. He made the layup. Next game, or the next two times, I drew up that play in different games. Same exact play, same exact result, but he bricked the layup each time. I'm like, dude, I'm about to take you out of that position going forward. But I'm excited to see what this young man is going to become in the future, and that's Gavin Charles Sevilla. This was one of our other captains this year. This particular player had a unique uphill battle that he had to deal with. He transferred schools, he had to meet new teammates, make new friends, and all while learning a new playbook and learning a new environment. I remember the first day that he got transferred to Cerritos, I called him and just tried to see, trying to pick his mind and trying to see what kind of player he is. But that phone call just told me that this guy's a winner. He played with confidence. When we voted for team captains this year, he was the only guy that voted for himself. I didn't know you could do that, but I counted it. But if that doesn't spell confidence, I don't know what does. Right? He was the heartbeat of the team, led us in many categories throughout the season, as well as getting double doubles on the regular. This kid played so hard that he cramped in multiple games. Would play so hard that he ended up breaking his nose and had to wear a face mask for the year. I think that's the reason why he squints when he shoots. But he kept calm under pressure. Was a great leader on and off the court, and I'm excited to see what his future has in basketball, and that's Aaron Shin. So this last player got one of the last players to present. He's our last captain, but he is the ultimate team player, team first type of player. He's a very family-oriented guy. I got to know him over the past 2 years. But when the team was low, he made sure everyone was up. When I was low, he went out of his way to make sure I was up. And that just told me how much he cared about not only me, not only the team, but just us as a family. He always had our back. And that's really a definition of a great human. He improved in his game all season. He even started hitting some outside jumpers this year. But you could always tell that he was having fun doing what he loved. I'm excited to see him on football next season. He has a great music taste. I remember one time I was playing Candy Rain, which for those of you who don't know, it's a song from back in the day. And this man knew every single lyric. I'm like, wow, all right, you have good taste. Okay, I can trust you on the aux. And that's Tui Willis. So our last guy for the evening, so he was actually one of our practice players and one of our team statisticians, but he made sure that he was the boys welcomed him, but he made sure that he played a role on this team. Like, even though he didn't really play in any games, he still made sure he showed up every single day, had fun doing so, and worked hard at it. Like I said, he was one of our statisticians, and I think the boys can say that he and Matthew are one of the worst statisticians that you guys will ever meet. But he was a great help this year. I'm happy to have had him on the team this year. He made my life a lot easier, and I'm sure he made the guys' lives a whole lot better, like with his presence on the court. And that's Steven Ventura. So these next awards are going to be our scholar athletes. With a 3.5 this year, Arthur Abdullahi. With a 3.9, Matthew Bernardo. With a 3.5, Jacob Chung. Yes, sir. With a 3.8, Brendan Boulay. With a 3.9, Sean Fontanilla. With a 3.5, Jordan Wong. With a 3.67, Taylor Wong. With a 3.5, Kai Kono. With a 3.5, Trevor Moon. With a 3.67, Gavin Seville. And with a 3.83, Aaron Shin. So lastly, for our individual awards for the season, first I'm going to start off with the Most Improved Award. This guy, he not only made sure that he was asking me how he could get better, but he would always ask his teammates, hey, where did I miss you on that? Or what could I have done better on that? And if things were getting down, he would tell his teammates what he thinks we should do, how he thinks that we should do things better, or how we should be approaching practice, or how we should be approaching games. And this is really just, not saying he didn't do it last year, but just seeing that side, that vocal side of him, showed me that he has matured so much as a young man. And then physically, last year he couldn't make a layup. Let's just be real. This year he can kind of hit a layup. but he improved his outside jumper. I remember there was a couple games where it was like neck to neck, game was close, and he was hitting some key shots, making some key plays, key blocks. And I could really trust him on and off the court to make sure that he was holding himself accountable every single day. And our most improved player for the JV team is Taylor Wong. So our next award is our Coaches Award. So me personally, hearing Coaches Award is basically an extension of myself on the court. And not even just of myself, like being like me, but in your own very special way. And he made sure that he was, getting on his teammates, making sure that they were doing the job that they were supposed to do. At the same time, knowing that if he made a mistake, that he had to fix it. And as a result, the team improved. The team picked up when things were down. Like he made sure that his teammates were doing okay. Went out of his way to make sure I was doing okay. And then just really got better like as the season went on. It's my first year coaching him, but I certainly hope to see like what he does in the future, not only as just a high school student, but as a young man. And so our Coaches Award goes to Brendan Goulet. So 2 more awards. Our next award is our Future Star Award. The Future Star Award, basically, the details are in the name. When we think that this young man has a lot of potential, can really just help our program reach new heights. And like to see where he started at the summer, from the beginning of fall to where he is currently, it's impressive to see how much better he has gotten. And honestly, I think that's attributed to his teammates pushing him every single day. And lastly, the Future Star is the fact that we only had 1 freshman that got called up this year, and that is Noah Edwards. So lastly is our MVP award. So this young man was really, like I said it earlier a little bit, but he's the reason why our team really had a lot of success this year. Like our team went. If he went, our team went. If he was going, our team was going. And he was playing through injuries all year. But even when he did play through the injuries, he didn't look any different from when he actually is healthy. He made big shots throughout the year, led our team in scoring multiple times. I think he flirted with the triple-double on a couple occasions this year. Sorry, varsity guys, but he might have the best finishing ability around the rim. There'll be a guy, 2 or 3 guys about to try to block him. He's going up and under, finishing on the opposite side of the backboard. There was multiple times this year where our team was really struggling, needed a bucket, and I just told everyone get out of the way and let him go to work. Most times he succeeded. But at the end of the day, it was a pleasure to coach him, and our team wouldn't be the same if he didn't transfer from Troy High School. And our MVP this year is Aaron Shane.
All right, thank you very much, JV team. Thank you. And unfortunately, Coach Simapali will not be back with us next year. He's going to be finishing some classes to get his degree, and so we're going to lose him for this year. But he said he's going to come back and help out as much as he can, and so he's just going to come out and volunteer as much as he's able to come out. And so he's already come out a lot in the spring just on his own and just decided to come out. So it's been great.